Welcome back to the Run for God Bible in a Year podcast. This is your only running-centric Bible reading program on the planet, and you're here. We aim to get you stronger physically, mentally, and most importantly, spiritually, as we read through the entire Bible in 365 days. Whether you're listening in your car, on your couch, or while you're running or walking, we know that the Word of God can transform us all, and it is my prayer that you are blessed by what we do here today. As a reminder, I am reading from the Holman Christian Bible if you'd like to read along. And also, I understand that the NIV is close to the Holman Christian Bible. If you've got one of those, it's fairly close and easy to follow along with. So, we are on day 18, and our reading today will be from the book of Genesis, chapters 19 through 21. All right, but first, our running, walking tip of the day is this. Remember that running or walking, or both, can protect you from heart disease. Heart disease is one of the biggest killers in our country, and a lot of that is related also to weight, and also running and walking also helps you with that. And so, remember, keep that in your mind. As you are looking for motivation from day to day to get out there, because sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes we're tired. But realize what you're doing good for yourself. This is just one more thing to help you protect you from heart disease. Now, it doesn't say you can't have heart disease, but it definitely decreases your chances. So that makes running and walking a great activity, and it gives us a good reason to get out there and get it done. All right, now let's get into God's Word. Genesis 19. The two angels entered Sodom in the evening as Lot was sitting at Sodom's gate. When Lot saw them, he got up to meet them. He bowed with his face to the ground and said, "My lords, turn aside to your servant's house, wash your feet, and spend the night. Then you can get up early and go on your way." "No," they said, "we would rather spend the night in the square." But he urged them so strongly that they followed him and went into his house. He prepared a feast and baked unleavened bread for them, and they ate. Before they went to bed, the men of the city of Sodom, both young and old, the whole population, surrounded the house. They called out to Lot and said, "Where is the man who came to you tonight? Send them out so we can have sex with them." Lot went out to them at the entrance and shut the door behind them. He said, "Don't do this evil, my brothers. Look, I've got 2 daughters who haven't had sexual relations with a man. I'll bring them out to you, and you can do whatever you want to them. However, don't do anything to these men, because they have come under the protection of my roof." "Get out of the way," they said, adding, "This one came here as a foreigner, but he's acting like a judge. Now we'll do more harm to you than to them." They put pressure on Lot and came up to break down the door. But the angels reached out, brought Lot into the house with them, and shut the door. They struck the men who were at the door of the house, both young and old, with a blinding light so that they were unable to find the door. Then the angels said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here, a son-in-law, your sons and daughters, or anyone in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of this place. For we are about to destroy this place, because the outcry against its people is great before the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it." So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law who were going to marry his daughters. "Get up," he said, "get out of this place, for the Lord is about to destroy the city." But his sons-in-law thought he was joking. At the crack of dawn, the angels urged Lot, "Get up, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or you will be swept away in the punishment of the city." But he hesitated. So because of the Lord's compassion for him, the men grabbed his hand, his wife's hand, and the hands of his 2 daughters, and they brought him out and left him outside the city. As soon as the angels got them outside, one of them said, "Run for your lives. Don't look back, and don't stop anywhere on the plain. Run to the mountains, or you will be swept away." But Lot said to them, "No, Lord, please. Your servant has indeed found favor in your sight, and you have shown me great kindness by saving my life. But I can't run to the mountains. The disaster will overtake me, and I will die." Look, this town is close enough for me to run to. It is a small place. Please let me go there. It is only a small place, isn't it, so that I can survive?" And he said to him, "All right, I'll grant your request about this matter too, and will not overthrow the town you mentioned. Hurry up, run there, for I cannot do anything until you get there." Therefore, the name of the city is Zoar. The sun had risen over the land when Lot reached Zoar. Then the Lord rained burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the sky. He overthrew these cities, the entire plain, all the inhabitants of the city, and whatever grew on the ground. But his wife looked back and became a pillar of salt. Early in the morning, Abraham went to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah and all the land of the plain, and he saw that the smoke was going up from the land like the smoke of a furnace. So it was, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham and brought Lot out of the middle of the upheaval when he overthrew the cities where Lot had lived. Lot departed from Zoar and lived in the mountains along with his 2 daughters because he was afraid to live in Zoar. Instead, he and his 2 daughters lived in a cave. Then the firstborn said to the younger, "Our father is old, and there is no man in the land to sleep with us, as is the custom of all the land. Come, let us get our father to drink wine so that we can sleep with him and preserve our father's line." So they got their father to drink wine that night, and the firstborn came and slept with her father. He did not know when she lay down or when she got up. The next day the firstborn said to the younger, "Look, I slept with my father last night. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight so that you can go sleep with him and we can preserve our father's line." That night they again got their father to drink wine, and the younger went and slept with him, and he did not know when she lay down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. The firstborn gave birth to a son and named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites today. The younger also gave birth to a son, and she named him Ben-Ammi. He is the father of the Ammonites of today. Genesis 20. From there, Abraham traveled to the region of the Negev and settled between Kadesh and Shur, where he lived in Gerar. Abraham said about his wife Sarah, "She is my sister." So Abimelech, king of Gerar, and had Sarah brought to him. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, "You are about to die because of the woman you have taken, for she is a married woman." Now Abimelech had not approached her, so he said, "Lord, would you destroy a nation even though it is innocent? Didn't he himself say to me, 'She is my sister,' and she herself said, 'He is my brother'? I did this with a clear conscience and clear hands." Then God said to him in his dream, "Yes, I know that you did this with a clear conscience. I have also kept you from sinning against me. Therefore I have not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, know that you will certainly die, you and all who are yours." Early in the morning, Abimelech got up, called all his servants together, and personally told them all these things, and the men were terrified. When Abimelech called Abraham in and said to him, "What have you done to us? How did I sin against you that you have brought such enormous guilt on me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should never be done." Abimelech also said to Abraham, "What did you intend when you did this thing?" Abraham replied, "I thought, there is absolutely no fear of God in this place. They will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister, the daughter of my father, though not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. So when God had me wander from my father's house, I said to her, 'Show your loyalty to me wherever we go, and say about me, he is my brother.' Then Abimelech took sheep and cattle and male and female slaves, gave them to Abraham, and returned his wife Sarah to him. Abimelech said, 'Look, my hand is before you. Settle wherever you want.' And to Sarah he said, 'Look, I am giving your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. It is a verification of your honor to all who are with you. You are fully vindicated.' Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female slaves so that they could bear children. For the Lord had completely closed all the wombs in Abimelech's household on account of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Genesis 21. The Lord came to Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age, at the appointed time God had told him. Abraham named his son who was born to him, the one Sarah who had bore to him, Isaac. When his son Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him as God had commanded him. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. Sarah said, God has made me laugh, and everyone who hears will laugh with me. She also said, who would have told Abraham that Sarah would nurse children, yet I have borne him a son in his old age? The child grew and was weaned, and Abraham held a great feast on the day Isaac was weaned. But Sarah saw the son mocking the one Hagar the Egyptian had borne to Abraham. So she said to Abraham, drive out this slave with her son, for the son of this slave will not be my co-heir with my son Isaac. Now this was a very difficult thing for Abraham because of his son. But God said to Abraham, do not be concerned about the boy and your slave. Whatever Sarah says to you, listen to her, because your offspring will be traced through Isaac. But I will also make a nation of the slave's son, because he is your offspring. Early in the morning, Abraham got up, took bread and a water skin, put them on Hagar's shoulders, and sent her and the boy away. She left and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. When the water in the skin was gone, she left the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went and sat down nearby, about a bowshot away, for she said, I can't bear to watch the boy die. So as she sat nearby, she wept loudly. God heard the voice of the boy, and the angel of God called to Hagar from the heaven and said, What's wrong, Hagar? Don't be afraid, for God has heard the voice of the boy from the place where he is. Get up, help the boy up, and sustain him, for I will make him a great nation. Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the water skin and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy, and he grew, and settled in the wilderness, and became an archer. He settled in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt. At that time, Abimelech, with Phicol, the commander of his army, said to Abraham, God is with you in everything you do. Now swear to me here by God that you will not break an agreement with me or my children and descendants. As I have kept faith with you, so you will keep faith with me and with the country where you are a resident alien. And Abraham said, I swear it. But Abraham complained to Abimelech because of the water well that Abimelech's servants had seized. Abimelech replied, I don't know who did this thing. You didn't report anything to me, so I hadn't heard about it until today. Then Abraham took sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. But Abraham had set apart 7 ewe lambs from the flock. And Abimelech said to Abraham, Why have you set apart these 7 ewe lambs? He replied, You are to accept the 7 ewe lambs from my hand, so that this act will serve as my witness that I dug this well. Therefore that place was called Beersheba, because it was there that the two of them swore an oath. And after they had made a covenant at Beersheba, Abimelech and Phicol, the commander of his army, left and returned to the land of the Philistines. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there he worshipped the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham lived as a foreigner in the land of the Philistines for many days. May God richly bless the reading of his word. All right. Day 18 down, we're going to leave you with this quote of today. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Of course, that comes from Henry Ford. It's a very famous saying and one that we should all heed. Whatever is in your brain, whatever is in your head, whatever you are telling yourself, you more than likely are going to go down that path, because positive talk will yield positive results, negative talk, negative results. That is a universal truth, I think. All right. May God bless every step of every run and or walk. Go out there and shine your light.